Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines, where we were just working on our shoreline out over here. Of course, it needs a lot more work, but we have significant progress completed. This is horrific, and I don't know why that's there. Let's just get rid of that. There we go. Much better. So I do want to bring this highway across here. We had deleted some of these for various height-related reasons, and I want to make sure that this is at the correct altitude going through here, right? Now, this is going to be gaining a fair amount of altitude, and that is absolutely what we want it to be doing. We want this to be going up quite a lot right now, and then just coming straight on out over here. We can lose a little bit of altitude going over the river like that. I think that's reasonably okay. We might end up redoing that. And having just one of these with that bridge, it's super jank, and I kind of love it, but I also kind of hate it. So we'll see about that. For now, I want to use the slope terrain tool, and I want to turn down this size a fair amount. And I want to just get rid of that spike that we've got going on there. Otherwise, we'll leave this be until the water settles here. It has not settled yet, but it eventually will. It's definitely pouring on out of there. So that's all well and good. Next, I want to address this section of highway right here. That is, of course, going to need to be brought out here. So if we have this be here, right, and then we bring this out at a full-on 180 degrees, it's going to want to drop down quite a lot unless we bring it in here, which is about where it was before, and then bring it over to, in theory, here. That's overlapping right here, so we may need to adjust the height as it goes over this river, which, of course, the river is going to need some time to fill in. No doubt about that. But this is 180 right here, allegedly. I'm not sure that that's 180 degrees, but okay. So this, in theory, works. Cool. Do it. And we'll take a look at what that actually looks like. No, that's good. I like it. That's very solid. Okay, so with that across there, we are still going to be needing to extend this highway this direction, right? We did get, I think, all of the streets, or very close to all of them, done last episode. There's a little bit of water right here that needs some time to drain out. I'm going to use the slope tool here, and we're just going to let that just slope right on out of there to drain. Okay. So that'll pour out of there. And then once that is drained out, and yeah, there goes a significant bunch of it with that particular tick. I like it. More should exit, in theory. I don't know if this bit will, though. But we'll just let that flow for the time being. I do want to check up over this direction. Yeah, that all looks good. So we're just missing this highway here and this little bit of road connection. But for this to happen, we need this water to finish draining as well. So we have a couple of water drainage issues, and we also have this pipe out over here, right? So we could definitely head underground and see what we've got going on with this little section of pipe. This can get bulldozed. Okay, we don't need that. This section of pipe here, I would like to extend, and this is a combined pipe. I would like to extend that out over here. There, that'll do for now. Cool. Now, I want to check in. We haven't let the simulation run all that much recently. It looks to me like we're not quite flowing over this levee here, which we do want this to eventually do. I want to check in on our dam and check the water level. Okay, yep, that doesn't seem to be a problem. So we can have it be this altitude. That's absolutely fine. Now, this situation over here is mildly awkward when it comes to height. And I would actually like to take this chunk of highway out, and let's consider rebuilding it from here at 10 meter elevation, and then building that out over this way. That is running into in water right down over here. I mean, yeah, that is indeed over water. It's a bridge. That's what bridges do. But for now, we're just going to drop a pillar here and see if that changes anything. Okay. So I want snapping back on. And just connect it right over here. That is in water. I mean, not necessarily, but sure. Well, that's definitely exciting. So it wants to build it about like that, which is, you know, very awkward indeed. What I want for it to do is just connect it in right over here. Maybe if we built it out from this angle and build it from this side, right? So we build it like so-ish. Yeah, that very much doesn't like that in-water situation there. Okay. So I'd like this to be right at this angle, right? It's just in water that that's struggling with. Okay. So we bring it out over this way then. That's giving slope too steep. But what if we had it here? I don't know. Is that lifting up? That's actually kind of straight. No, it really doesn't want to let us build this. Okay. So we take this section back out of there, and let's trial building from there to here. And I want this to be at that 10-meter marker. So, out of curiosity, in water, slope too steep, overlapping items. Okay, so that's reasonably fine. This is just in water and overlapping items. Wait, that's just overlapping items. Hang on a moment. That's interesting. Let's turn off snapping except for to angle. Okay, noted. So that's like down here. Sure, but we turn the snapping back on. And we can, in theory, do it about here. Okay, now that's definitely not exactly the correct angle. No doubt about that. But what I'm thinking here is, what happens if we put this in approximately... Yeah, that's not the right angle at all. Okay. But now that that's been built, I wonder if that will actually make things simpler for us. In theory, it might. So that gives in water. Noted. Very intriguing. This is very, very close to being built here, but it's not quite there. Now it's trying to snap to this in-water location, right? This is simply in water here. So I'm wondering what would happen if we were to terraform this area ever so slightly, and we were to use the slope terrain tool, and we just put in a slope here, hypothetically. And then we smooth this out. And that's not really doing what I want to. But what if we used the level terrain tool and brought this out like so? And just changed this ever so slightly. So then we could bring this guy in over here, hypothetically. That gives in water out over here. Noted. It's very confused about this. Very confused indeed. Okay. Well, we can try it over here again. This is getting a little tedious, no doubt about that. I saw a spot here, but that is not the right angling. I want it to just connect in here, right? I suppose what we could do is we could simply level the terrain out all the way over here. Like that. And see if that's still giving us in water. It's clear that we have some... Whoa. It's clear that we have some water issues, right? That's very, very clear. So, as a hypothetical... Huh. That is not 10 meters above. I can tell you that right now. It's also not in water. There's definitely land there. So that's obviously not what we're looking for, right? So we'll have to find another solution here. Let's just bring this right on down. Something about like that. That'll do for the time being. And actually, I want this to be leveled out about like that. And then this can be brought out about like that. Okay. So we're going to be tweaking these shorelines significantly. That is definitely in the plan here. But I really want to get these roads rebuilt, right? That would be ideal. Okay, this just works. Cool. I don't have an explanation for that, but I guess that caused it to recalculate something. We'll take it. So now, of course, we need to build out this highway over here. So getting into a top-down view, we can bring this out over this direction, and we would want this to just connect in right here. And that just works. Cool. Now can we slap a roundabout in here? Yes, we can. Excellent. And then continuing to bring this on over to the next highway over here. Let's see here. This is 90 degrees here. Yeah, we're going to run into a pillar issue down here. So let's get that out of there for now. We know for a fact that this is a bit of a priority position, right? So we want to do that. We want to slap in a roundabout there. That's giving us slope too steep out this direction. For the time being, we can pull that out of there and then put it back in now that this has been built. And we're fine. Okay. So now, of course, things are going to get a little awkward because we want to connect this out over here. Now, first things first, we're going to get rid of this bridge. Never mind. Apparently, we can't get rid of this bridge. We can get rid of it like that, though. And now it works. Okay, cool. So that's fine for now. I'm also going to get rid of this section of highway right here. So what we want, and there we go. I would really like it if there was an actual non-stop station and we could just have music. That would be nice. We don't require a huge amount of speech at this moment, but we're going to bring this over. And that will connect up right over this direction, right? So right about there. Okay. And then we slap that roundabout on in. Phenomenal. So that gets us all of that completed. Now we're going to need to do some on-off ramps over here, but we're also going to need to see about squeaking a road through here. Can we get one underneath here? We would need to use the curve tool. I think that's a hard maybe. It feels like it gets really, really close here. Actually. But we're definitely running into some overlapping items here. So this would be ideal, right? Unfortunately for us, we've got these pillars underneath here. So I think what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to bring out this land a little further out over this way. Something about like that, hypothetically. Let's see how that ends up going. This is doable. Okay. So we would bring that out to here. Oh, that did not do what I thought it was going to do at all. I thought that was going underneath. Never mind. We might have to drop the terrain here a little bit, which is actually a good thing for us to do, now that I think about it. We should be grabbing this altitude and pulling this out of here like that, right? So I also want to make sure that we are dropping this out to the side over here. There we go. Something about like that. And we'll adjust that a little bit more later, but for now I want to get our roads functioning again. That would be a good thing, to have working roads. We're in Curve Tool here, and I want to... This is a very, very steep incline, of course. I want to soften that out a bit. Up on this side only. Okay. It's still going to be pretty steep, but something along the lines of that. Then we can bring this over and curve it in theory, down here. We've still got overlapping items here. I was hoping that that would give us enough space to squeak in underneath here. Arguably, it does. We just need to get our curve correct. Okay, let's turn off snapping for the moment. I think we're actually going to need complex curve to make this really happen here. So the complex curve would start like out here. Now that's giving us in water. So maybe it would start about here. Maybe the freeform tool would be what we're looking for here? I don't know about that. Actually, hang on a moment. That kind of worked. We'll turn snapping back on here. Bring that guy in there. Straight line tool. That kind of worked. Beautiful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the level terrain tool here, and we're going to grab like this altitude for the time being. And really what I want to do is soften this out a little bit, but not like this, right? So what I really think I want to do here is use the slope tool, but set the height to be... No, this is not what I want at all. Hang on. Let's get this out of here for now. For the time being, I think all I want to do is push out this terrain a little bit over here. Now that's creating a wall, which is not necessarily what I want, but we can come back to that a little bit later on. For now, that will do. Okay, now these highways, of course, are not connected at this juncture. And we do have this footpath here. So the footpath is going to be mildly awkward for us. We'll have to go over that. So I want to take these out of here for the moment. I want to get these to a point, and we're going to use the curve tool here. I want to get these to the point where they are pretty much at the same position. That was not curve tool. Okay, we're going to use curve tool. We're going to shoot out over this direction. This should actually be the 2-lane road. So I just want this to curve over a tiny bit, not that much. About there. Obviously, this is going the wrong way, and we'll have to get flipped around. But something along the lines of that. Now, these are going to be at different altitudes. So I'm going to take this section of highway back. We're going to bring this guy out and bring it in about over here. There we go. Next, I want to bring this up and over like so. This guy does not want to be at the same altitude as this guy. Gotcha. So we're going to need to adjust our elevation this way then. And then that'll come over here. Hang on, that was overlapping items. Right, we need this to be at 20. And then up over here would be at 10. And just build that. Then we can curve this in over here. Okay, so this is obviously not exactly the way I want this to go. So we're going to take that out of there for the time being. And now that this section is built in, I don't like that angle, though. I don't like that angle at all. So we're going to bring this in again over here at 20 meters. And then it's going to come this direction at 10 meters. Then, that's it. I don't actually want this to curve anymore. Okay, so something like that. Then we'll bring this in over here or so. And just gently curve that in. Okay, that's much better. Much, much better. Now then, we're going to have to adjust the heights over here. Okay, this is horrific. Well, let's use the soften terrain tool here and just clean that up a little bit. There we go. This is generally rather horrible that we've created over this way in terms of height differentials. That could definitely use some work. I'm going to use the level terrain tool to clean up this area over here a wee bit. But of course, we've got some issues down here, which is fine for the moment. I'm going to leave that be. Okay, so next we're going to continue to use our curve tool here. And I want to have this guy. Let's see, we want to bring it out over here, right? So we want to bring it in to here and then have it come over this way. So that would just connect in like that. Then this one, I don't like the angling that this is going at. So I'm going to take that back, and then we're going to proceed out over this way. And just gently curve it in over here. Now that's coming back as in water, which is not ideal, for sure. So we could just position it about here for right now. And get ourselves part of the way there. Then we can run this curve. I don't love that curve. What if we build it this way, hypothetically? I feel like the only in water there is right up over here. Now, this curve over here is not going to be perfect. I'm not going to love that. This is, of course, dropping down quite a lot here. So there's that as well. One thing to note is that we would be able to, rather than doing this way, we would be able to bring this road underneath here. And that's, I think, an interesting thing to do here. So we would bring this out over this direction for now. And then it would come out somewhere over here, right? And it would just go in like that. Then this road would come in like this. And this road, hypothetically, would come in over here. I'm not surprised that that sloped too steep. It lets us do this, which isn't, perfect. But I guess it works. Something along those lines. Now, the main question is, what are we going to do about this in-water situation that we've got going on here? Well, I'm going to soften this terrain over here a little bit, and then I'm going to push this back out. That seemed to work before, and we'll see if that actually does anything here. So this would go somewhere around here-ish. And I don't like the drop-off that we have going on here, actually, now that I mention it. So I would like to take that out of there, and I'd like to bring in somewhere around here or so. I'd like to bring this in. Okay, so something kind of like that. It's not perfect on the angle. We can always address that later, though, if we really feel like it's necessary. Then we would bring this guy out to be about over here, right? And then link it in over here. Now that's giving us in water, specifically right here. Is there water here? Not that I know of, but maybe. Okay, there was a water tick. Let's see if that fixed it. We definitely just saw the water tick there. So let's see if that allows us to build this in. That's a negative. Can we build it anywhere out over here? Obviously, that's not the altitude that we want. I'm just checking out over here. Okay. Hypothetically, straight line tool. Nope. Absolutely not. Okay, so awkwardness is ensuing. No doubt about that. But let's just smooth this down a little bit. Oh, that was shift terrain tool. I wanted to soften terrain. There we go. We'll smooth this down a wee bit over here. That'll be fine. Okay. I'm going to just smooth this a smidge. And we'll see if that, not having that really sharp cliff, helps things. So from here, I want to bring this guy out about like that. Okay. Hang on. It's not perfect, but it let us build it. Okay. There's quite a grade here, and this does not have the same sort of grade. So I would like to lower this section here. So that would mean taking that out and then rebuilding from here. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to bring this guy to 10 meters and just drop that off somewhere over here, right?
This has been a local public service.
So we're going to need it to be about here and then down over here.
And we're pervading some of the finest
and then in curve tool.
on the air. Keep that dial.
Ooh, I don't like that curve.
And on to our main features.
Indeed, I do not like that curve. But we can have it be something like this. It's certainly not perfect, but it is better. And we'll call that good enough for now. That'll do. So, at this point, we need some on-off ramps over here and to fix this section of road. And we're very nearly done with this. It was definitely quite a project. No doubt about it. I thought I went into curve tool. Okay. Let's pull this out of here. And in curve tool, we're going to bring this road up and in over here. Okay, that'll do for the time being. We need some on-off ramps here, and then we're basically complete. So let's go ahead and do those really quick here. So one lane, one-way highway, simple curve tool, and let's bring this up and in. Cool. And then an off-ramp over here. It's not ideal. That'll be a little bit better. Then an off-ramp here. And an on-ramp somewhere around here. Sure, that'll do. Okay. I think we've got that good to go. That was a pretty big project, really. That really, really was. Now, I want to take a look up here. We didn't really let it tick all that much. Indeed, we did not. So we might want to soften this terrain out over this way a little bit and just let this flow over here. Something about like that. It's absolutely going to start flowing over, but there's only so much flow. It'll take some time to start filling this, right? And that's absolutely fine. We'll let it start filling all of that. We're going to need to continue to work on our riverfront for a while here. There's a lot of work to be done there. It is time to put a cut in here, though, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue to work on this riverfront, probably, although we might take a break from it and develop some residential. We might want to just let this run for a while and see where the water ends up. That might be an interesting experiment. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.